Greetings and welcome to episode 221 of the Words About Gamescast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. Yes, I press record. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by the glorious one. I don't know any boxer nicknames. The Shadow Boxer.
Yeah, well, we can't say the Italian stallion because I'm not Italian, so...
The
glorious one.
The glorious stallion.
The glorious stallion.
Sounds like a completely different thing altogether. Mr. Zaffamoody. 1 minute. I managed to make it awkward in 1 minute. I'm good at this. How you doing? You good? The glorious stallion.
I'm good. The week's been fine.
Good.
I've fought on. I've played some game. I've watched some stuff.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it.
I'm keep it together right now. It might go again.
That's why I'm trying to focus this on you, because it's much funnier if I have to make you talk while you're trying to not to completely just die. The straw on this thing is terrible, by the way. I have to be really careful when I have to be really careful with this, otherwise, like, when I pull up my mouth away from it, it just squirts everywhere. And yes, I'm continuing the innuendos, because why not?
Why the hell not?
Our country's slogan is "Eat out to help out."
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I didn't feel like I was helping out, I won't lie.
The lesbians had a field day with that one. There's people watching this going, isn't this a video game podcast? And we're just like,
was it an innuendo podcast?
Is it? Who even knows what kind of podcast this is anymore? We've descended through all of the layers of hell that the video game industry has had to offer in 2020. And this is what the podcast looks like on the other side.
From the other side.
I don't know any of the rest of the words either.
Hello
from the other
something,
side.
Something other side. Respect to her for the amount of weight she's lost.
Oh, cool.
She's worked her ass off. She looks really well.
Is it Adele?
Yeah, Adele, yeah. She lost a ton of weight.
Cool.
She's unrecognizable. It is, really. She's respect to her for that.
I was unironically listening to Spice Girls earlier this week.
Can't beat a bit of Spice Girls sometimes. You go.
Exactly. See, I feel like anyone of a certain generation, which is both of us, I'm assuming.
So 90s.
I've never actually asked how old you are. No, I don't. I feel like it would be rude to, but anyone of a certain generation who says they don't like the Spice Girls is a liar. It's just that simple. We were all indoctrinated. It's Stockholm syndrome. It's like we heard the Spice Girls were about living through Spice Mania in the 90s was probably what it was like to live through Beatlemania in the 60s. And honestly, the Spice Girls are better. Don't at me. But this isn't a music podcast. You can tell I just renewed my Spotify subscription. This is the Words About Gamescast. Every week we discuss what's going on in gaming, the games industry, and gaming culture over the past 7 days. Excuse me. In this week's episode, we discuss Ubisoft stepping in shit once again, Sony's interesting approach to first wave PS5 pre-orders, and then bringing more first-party games to PC, and more. Then we'll go over all the new game announcements, release dates, and delays that happened over the past week, which is also where we're going to talk about Gamescom and the Future Games Show and the Awesome Indies Show and all the shows that happened last week that I totally watched live and didn't just skip over whatsoever. We'll also give you a content drop where we recommend some articles you should read and some videos you should watch. We'll tell you what games are coming out over the next 7 days before we play OpenCritic head-to-head, where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. And as always, we'll wrap the show up with a post-show discussion to chat about whatever's on our minds. As always, there are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so if you want to just skip around the podcast, watch it in any order you want, watch it backwards. It's fine. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here. How much longer can I put off talking about... I've got low energy right now. I'm in low energy mode. That is going to last precisely one news story. Like, as we move through this first news story, I'm going to be in high energy mode by the time we get out of it. But I also want to put it off for as long as possible. Also, I've had this Chromebook since January. So however many podcasts that's been, from January to now, or every week, where I've been doing this, using this for the show notes, and I've only just thought, the text is quite difficult to read because it's really small when it's like further away from my face. I'll just zoom in on it. I've had that problem since January, and I've just now gone, I'll just zoom in on the document. Problem solved. I can read it now. I'm not going to be like...
You know, like this.
Nah, and just sit right back and just be like, I can still read it. I can still read it. I can still read it. Alright, we've put this off for long enough. By we, I mean me. First news story of this week's podcast. Ubisoft's Tom Clancy's elite squad appears to cast Black Lives Matter protesters as villains. This is from Dave Thier over at Forbes. He writes, Ubisoft finds itself embroiled in controversy again, as the intro video for its mobile game Tom Clancy Elite Squad appears to cast the player in opposition to global protests that use Black Lives Matter iconography, making for another public misstep for a company that has long had trouble separating militaristic messages from games that it claims to be free of politics. The video suggests a fictional world gripped by widespread unrest and protests. Fictional. A particularly resonant image in the wake of the very real protests that have spread across the country, America, and the world in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd in late May, now re-inflamed by the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and the vigilante shootings that followed. In the game, the protests are being controlled by a shadowy organisation known as Umbra in an elaborate conspiracy. In the video, Umbra uses an iconic raised fist, a classic protest symbol currently most closely associated with Black Lives Matter. Ubisoft has responded to the controversy by saying that it will remove the fist iconography from the game in a statement. Quote, imagery that appeared in the opening video sequence of Tom Clancy's Elite Squad featured a raised fist was insensitive and harmful. In both its inclusion and how it was portrayed. We have listened to and appreciate the players and the broader community who have pointed it out, and we apologise. It will be removed in our next title update this Tuesday, September 1st on Android, and as soon as we're able to on iOS. End quote. The inclusion of the fist iconography was certainly a troubling detail in the trailer, but it was far from the only problematic piece of this puzzle. The premise of the game, at least as depicted here, is that protests and unrest around the world are being controlled and manipulated by a shadowy organisation bent on world domination. This is a classic right-wing trope levelled in an effort to delegitimise grassroots protests, frequently tinged with anti-Semitism and references to George Soros. Releasing a game that leans on this trope would be irresponsible at any moment, but feels especially dangerous right now. Several contract writers on the project tweeted that they were told that Umbra was more like a James Bond Spectre-style organisation and had no idea it would be framed this way. This problem is not new to Ubisoft or its Tom Clancy games. The Division cast the player as a member of an elite shadowy organisation tasked with bringing the country under control in the event of catastrophe, in this case a lethal pandemic. The player, however, spent huge portions of the game shooting, quote, looters. The company, in the meantime, insists that its games avoid political messaging even as those games dance awkwardly around real-life issues. Hey, let's talk about Ubisoft again. Hey. I mean, I tweeted you the idea I had for the title of this video, which I probably won't use, so I think you already know how I feel about this.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So, like, yeah. I saw this trailer on, I think, Saturday night. Might have been either Friday or Saturday night on Twitter. It was someone had tweeted it out, and they'd done a funny voice, like a funny fake voiceover over the intro, which I found really funny. Where it was like, oh, it's how are we going to stop these protesters? Let's assemble the Avengers with guns, and then he was calling all the characters like really funny names, like the Tier 3 Skull Mask, and it was really funny, and I thought this was a parody. I thought this not obviously the voiceover thing was a parody. I thought this was satire. I thought there's no way this could be a video game that exists made by Ubisoft. I thought somebody had put together a really cool animation, changed the all the stuff around so that it didn't, because there's no way Ubisoft would release a game this idiotic into the world. And then I found out, no, they did. This is real. This happened.
Let's not beat about the bush here with it. Like I said, it's completely terrible by them. It goes back to the whole thing of like what we've talked about on multiple topics and multiple conversations of just like Ubisoft, to any company out there, but I'm specifically speaking to Ubisoft here, is that why you haven't talked about this properly to your not to customers, to your spoken to a person of color, especially people in your company, to say, all right, we need to see, is this all right or anything like that. Just gauge it here, gauge it right. And they're clearly not doing this. They're not doing the research or anything like that. Like I've said on multiple occasions, I am literally getting smacked over their head, not just theoretically, not physically. When I'm at college, research, and one of the biggest companies in the world clearly is not doing that properly. They may be getting the worlds right in many of their games and everything like that. Fine, congratulations, you're doing certain research right there. But when it comes to games that could have come across incredibly offensive to a person of color, to LGBTQ, the whole spectrum, and if you're not doing the research, you can literally make yourself look like complete and utter idiots. And again, Ubisoft have made themselves look like complete and utter bloody idiots without doing the proper research, which is scary to think, because they're one of the biggest companies in the world. They can't be this stupid, but clearly the management they have in line, which we already know, the management they have right now is not the best. We know this because of other things we've talked about. And clearly they are not managing the situation properly to say, is this going to offend somebody or something like that? Can we get this right where a person of color can see where we're coming from and stuff like that type of thing? No, it's not. We're not. If they come out and say they've talked to someone, I honestly don't think I'll believe it.
No, personally. If they said they'd talked to someone and then still released this game, I would not have believed them. Yeah. You say, it's interesting. I got a lot of stuff to say on the subject of this, because, funnily enough, Mooney, I actually did some research. But the thing there, where you've just said, which is really interesting, where it's like, they can't be this stupid. And I sit there and think, oh, you're right. Maybe they can't be this stupid. Maybe they did this deliberately. Because it's really hard to get a mobile game noticed. Everyone's talking about Elite Squad. There's a lot more conversation about Elite Squad now than there would have been had the intro been completely different to this.
Do you think they've done it on purpose?
I think they might have done. At this point, I refuse to give them any benefit of any doubt. Like,
And that's fair. That they've earned that. They've earned
2020 has
not to have the benefit of the doubt.
2020 has shredded Ubisoft's reputation in my eyes, as far as I'm concerned. At this point, like,
And they were already on a tipping stone with for a lot of people anyway.
yeah, like, you know, the games are kind of all the same. Like, and then it's just gone downhill from there. That was how it entered 2020. Ubisoft games are all kind of the same thing, and they don't appear to be wanting to do anything different. And that's how we entered. And then we've come through the other side of finding out they might be the worst video game company in the world, which is crazy to think in a world that includes Activision Blizzard. But hey, here we are. I can't say for certain that they didn't do this on purpose, because their statement is, their statement reads to me as if they're saying, shit, sorry, we got caught. Not, sorry, we put this thing in here.
I agree with you on the statement. It does smell of that.
Because if
just even worse.
If their statement was true, if their statement is true and we take it at face value, that means that they didn't know about the raised fist being associated with Black Lives Matter. I mean, the company itself has tweeted out support for Black Lives Matter in the past couple of months. So I can't say they didn't know about it. And you're talking about doing the research. This is as easy as existing on social media, turning on the news. Like, that's how basic the research is for what's going on in the world around Black Lives Matter and protests. And none of this was in any of the pre-release marketing. Like, for the game. Like, we just watched Ubisoft Forward in July, so like last month. And it was Sam Fisher and some prisoners, I think, like, and they were the squad, and they were the elite squad, and they were fighting some guys. It didn't have the tone or content of anything we've seen in the intro for the game. Like, Elite Squad is an extrajudicial kill squad being sent out into America by the government to fight protesters who are protesting corruption and poverty. That's the premise of the game from the introductory video. Umbra is Latin for black. Like the name of the shadowy organization that's controlling all of the protests around the world, which is absolute nonsense, terrible, awful writing. The word Umbra is Latin for black. I don't know that they didn't do this on purpose. Like,
thing is, I can't say anything because, like, you said you've done the research.
It didn't take long. I just looked on Twitter. If you type in Ubisoft Elite Squad into Twitter to do a search, that's the third tweet. Umbra, which is Latin for black. I learned that 2 minutes ago. Like, I was looking for a specific tweet which I couldn't find to quote, but instead I found that, and I was like, I'll use that. That's Twitter user at Apur, AAPUR. And yeah, that person says "fuck you" at the end of the tweet, and I kind of agree. Like, come on, Ubisoft! Like, what the fuck are you playing at here?
It's kind of, it's very sucky. Let's just be. It's not kind of. It's very sucky that they clearly showing that they have not done the research here. For me personally, you are showing that you're proving just by a little bit of the facts that they probably have not done this. So basically, it goes to the kind of like the 3-pronged questions that was asked to the owner when he basically just made himself look like a complete idiot. The bit, but it's not 3, it's 2. The one is, did you do the research? And if you did, you either found out all these stuff and you've completely ignored it, or you haven't done the research, which both are bad.
Like,
both are bad. Either way, you either have and you have ignored it, or you haven't, which makes you incompetent.
You're either an idiot or you're an asshole. And we've had this conversation about Yves Gilmore very recently, and we're having it again about a completely different topic of conversation. Yves, you're either a fucking idiot or you're an absolute prick. And at this point,
Worst thing is, it's combined it into both now.
I was going to say, at this point, I just think you're both. Like, oh my god. Like,
man.
I can't do this anymore, Mooney. Like, I've been going backwards and forwards in my head of like, oh, you know, like Ubisoft's a terrible company, and you know they've done all this really bad stuff. Like they've been covering up for the systemic abuse of a lot of their employees, and like entire studios are like, you know, consumed by racism and transphobia and sexism and homophobia. But I'm going backwards and forwards on like playing Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed later this year because, you know, a lot of good people, and I don't mean this to sound insincere, I truly mean it when I say a lot of good people worked on those games, and I want to support them like in what they've made, because I imagine they're quite proud of what they've made. Like I would be if I made a AAA video game and I did like the art for it or the writing for it. I'd be really, really proud that it was out there, and I'd want people to play it, even if I had suffered or my coworkers had suffered under this brutal fucking shit show of a regime that is Ubisoft. But I just can't do this anymore, Moody. Like this is the straw that's broken the camel's back for me. Like something fundamentally needs to change at this company. Like,
well, we've been saying that for a while. We've even said ourselves that the owner should probably step down altogether and bring in a proper new team and everything, because he shows himself that he's corrupt or just a complete another idiot all at once and everything. And yeah, it's a whole crappy thing. It really, really is. Like I've spoken to a friend of mine who really is a big fan of Ubisoft games and everything like that, and like and he's even said like he would love the work for the company and everything like that. But I'm like, I've told him about these things, and he's like, huh, shit, type of thing.
yeah.
He's just like he literally just went. He doesn't know what to do now. You know what I mean? Like that his dream. The only less things he said a very good response, which I really liked. He says. That he hopes they do sort this as soon as possible, that they get rid of the shit and they show that they're bringing in good people, promoting good people, and to getting themselves back out of it. Because this is the thing, at the end of the day, let's just be fair, Ubisoft, you can get yourselves out of this really, really easy. You can make yourselves not the shittest company in the world right now. You get rid of all the worst baggage you have in your company right now. You get rid of all of them. And you bring in and promote proper people who deserve to be in those jobs and everything, and who are going to take you in the right direction. And you continue to not only make great games, because you do good games. You do. Your last two Assassin's Creed I have loved. Rainbow Six Siege, even though I haven't played it at all this year, I loved that game. It's one of the main reasons why I got an Xbox One. On top of one of our close friends who convinced me with his passion to get one of these consoles and everything like that. And you've created such amazing games. You can sort this. We know this, and the thing is, we are very critical on you, but we want you to sort this. We don't want to be bashing on you, Ubisoft, at all. We hate it. We don't like to be bashing on people. We like to be positive people. We like to be saying that Ubisoft game last one was absolutely fantastic. I recommend it for you guys to go and check it out and everything. It's well worth your money. No, we're like, you've just done this incredibly insensitive thing and clearly haven't done the research, or you've completely ignored the research. And on top of that, a lot of the people of management are sexist, evil, disgusting, vile pricks. You can sort this, Ubisoft, and I am rooting for you to sort this, but you have to sort this.
Yeah. You need to remove the rotten part, which, you know...
That's the top as well for me. He has to go. He won't.
He won't. He needs to.
The thing is,
he's run this company to this point. either by neglect or
Yeah.
maliciously.
Yeah.
He's been in charge as all of this has happened because
Yeah.
we've been bagging on Ubisoft for years about some of the stupid shit they've done, like the thing with Assassin's Creed Unity years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we could have a female character instead of just 4 carbon copies of the male character for multiplayer, but, that would be twice the work and twice the cost and twice the animation. Like, the Division 2 is not a political game. That was a thing they said. That was stupid. Like, but now we're at a point where it's like, oh, okay, it's not the stuff we can go, ha ha ha, you fucking idiots. It's the stuff where you just kind of look at it and go, no, this is really serious now.
Yeah.
It's time to put on my big girl pants and say,
Mm-hmm.
fuck you, Ubisoft. For realsies.
The one thing is, which is kind of funny, is they were they were getting, someone was trying to buy them.
Vivendi, we covered it a lot on the podcast, and we were rooting for them to stay independent.
That's what I'm saying now. I'm just like,
shoot.
Maybe it might have been better. I don't know. I don't know the company or anything like that. That's not me or anything like that. I admit I have not done the research on that company whatsoever, so I'll hold my hand up there. But I'm just saying, maybe the grass would have been greener on the other side.
Maybe, we live in a parallel universe that, Vivendi bought Ubisoft and conditions for the workers got better and stupid shit like this didn't happen.
That's the thing about it.
That could have happened. Right now, the top of this company.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, right
everyone
now.
was rooting for them, and now everyone.
Yeah, we were.
Not everybody, but because
we were. A lot of us were. Like, I remember it. Me and Keith were covering it a lot on the podcast, and even we were both rooting for them to not get bought out by Vivendi. I think we even did a podcast topic of why it would be bad. Like, we went through all of the reasons why it would be bad if Vivendi bought Ubisoft. And now I have to eat those words a little bit because it turns out Ubisoft is terrible and has been terrible for a long time. They need reorganization at the top of this company at this point. Like, they're almost doing as bad a job as our Prime Minister. Which is, unfathomable, I mean.
Pretty bad job, Amy.
I'm in no mood for Ubisoft shit. But yeah, Don, as far as I'm personally concerned, I'm going to keep speaking out about the absolute idiocy of Ubisoft. I'm going to keep talking about it on podcasts. Be prepared for some vicious game descriptions when their games come out in the games out this week segments on podcasts, for example. But don't expect me to make videos about Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed because I'm not gonna play them. It sucks because those games look cool. It sucks for all of the really awesome people who have worked on those games and made those games, but there's no way I could play Watch Dogs, sit down and record a video about Watch Dogs and not be like, Ubisoft is fucking garbage. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's no point. That video, that's me making that specific video, would be pointless for everyone involved. And beyond making an impressions video for those games, I don't really want to play them. I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like that time I was really excited to play Mortal Kombat 11 a couple of years ago, and then all the stories came out about how horribly they had been crunching and treating their staff, and I had the disc while we were reading it on the podcast, and I just kind of looked at it and went, I'm alright. And just to step away from Ubisoft and just go into the broader video game industry, it's kind of a sad state of affairs that now I can play. I can read stories of intense crunch and mismanagement and companies treating their staff really badly and still play the games that get made out of them. I don't know whether that's sad or not, that I've reached that point where it's I'm a bit immune to it in that regard. Where it's The Last of Us Part 2 had all of the same issues Mortal Kombat 11 did. And I still play The Last of Us Part 2. Maybe I'm a bit of a hypocrite.
You know my stance on that. everyone's a hypocrite. So everyone's a hypocrite in the world. So
I'll drink to that. Cheers. I'm drinking out of
yeah.
a Twitch mug, thinking, ask me my opinion about Twitch at the moment.
Yeah, it's what you feel at the end of the day. You gotta go off what you feel is right into your own morals and everything like that. And like for me, I've said multiple times, like I will probably be. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Watch Dogs because they've never spoke to me those games. I've never clicked with them at all, so I'm not really sure. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla is probably a game that I will be at least trying because I am a huge fan of that franchise and everything. But
I think Watch Dogs 2 might be the last Ubisoft game I really loved. I enjoyed it.
really loved it. Yeah, you really liked it.
Yeah, I loved Watch Dogs 2. That was great. Like, I didn't like the first one at all. I really loved the second one. I don't think anyone really liked the first one.
Yeah.
I was amazed they made another one.
Because the first one did make money.
It did, because it was hyped. Because
the second one didn't.
yeah, the second one didn't because everyone had played the first one. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to something a little bit more hinty, I think, for the future.
Okay. I was going to say a little bit less dumb, but still dumb. Sony is inviting some people to pre-order the PS5. This is from Sharif Saeed over at VG247, who writes, Sony has opened registration for invite-only PlayStation 5 pre-orders. A number of users have reported getting an email that grants them a chance to register for an opportunity to be one of the first to pre-order the PlayStation 5. Fucking hell. The company did not offer a price nor a release date for the upcoming console. The email simply gives those who receive it a better chance at securing a unit come launch directly from Sony. Those interested can still register their PSN ID, but you'll only be able to pre-order a PS5 that way if you get an invite. The criteria for who gets invited isn't very clear. Sony says selection is, quote, based on previous interests and PlayStation activity, end quote. You'll know you're among the chosen few if you get your invite before public pre-orders start. As the FAQ page notes, those selected will have a limited window to make a decision, and Sony does not guarantee that stock will last until everyone invited has put in a pre-order. It's also limiting it to one console per invite per PSN ID. You'll be able to add in 2 extra controllers, cameras, media remotes, wireless headsets, or charging stations, but you can't get more than one console. For now, the offer is available only to US residents or those who can ship the console to a US-based address. If you're invited and can't provide a US address for the console to be shipped to, Sony won't send it anywhere else in the world. No thank you. Like, I mean, I know I'm in the UK and I'm not eligible to be invited for this, but I would rather not blindly put down for a pre-order for a game box that I don't know the price of. And I'm good. I'm good. That sounds like the dumbest thing anyone could possibly do.
I agree with you on the part of that. I don't deny that. I think I don't know at least the price of it. Yeah, I would never put down an order for that whatsoever, even if it's just in the US whatsoever, whatever. I don't care. I wouldn't do that because I want to know the price here. What this does tell me, for me personally, is they're going to announce this soon.
Soon, but not too soon, because the people they're inviting. It's in here. You'll know you're among the chosen few if you get your invite before public pre-orders start. Public pre-orders are going to happen as soon as this gets price and release date get revealed. So there's got to be a lead time for them to invite the people who apply for the chance to pre-order a PS5. Not a guaranteed chance. Yeah. It depends on your PlayStation activity.
Basically, just said, if you're a PlayStation diehard and you played nothing but PlayStation this generation, you have a chance to get it if you're in the US whatsoever.
Because as we all know, the people who spend the most time playing video games. Sorry, because we all know the people who spend the most time playing video games are the people with the most disposable income. Wait.
Oh yeah.
Wait. No, there's something wrong with that equation. Let me think about that for a second.
No, I think we're going to know the release date and price in 2 weeks. Between now and the next 2 weeks, I think, personally.
I haven't actually
There's a thing going around right now.
I've seen it. We're not talking about it. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done speculating on the price of the PlayStation 5.
But it's all about the price that they put up a video on their YouTube thingy.
All right. I thought you were talking about the chart that's been going around.
Oh, I've seen the charts whatsoever. Doesn't bother me that. No, there's they've added a video under their channel for the PlayStation 5, but it's restricted right now.
Yeah,
Obviously, they've
yeah,
locked
like
it.
when I put a video up and schedule it, and it's a deleted video.
Yeah, they put one up, but obviously there's no time or date for it to be released yet. So that's making everyone go,
It's
they've got
just
something to announce or something like that. So I think we're going to hear something within the next 2 weeks.
all right.
For the price and payment, for the price and release date. Personally,
I mean, it's only fucking September.
it's only the 9th year of 2020. I know, it's incredible.
Fucking hell, guys, come on! Like, he's really taking the piss this time.
The thing is, like I've said on my podcast, when it comes to like what the studios are doing, like for about their movies and whatnot, like there's no handbook about this type of thing right now. They're all
That's
making
true.
it up for how.
But a movie's not going to cost anywhere between £400 and £600 to go and watch.
I don't deny what you're saying there, but at the same time, they did not expect this to happen. They didn't expect that a pandemic was going to take over the planet. The same goes for Microsoft at the same time. They're all making this up. How I bet Sony didn't want to reveal their PlayStation 5 the month they wanted to. I think they wanted to do a month before that. But they obviously, things changed and everything like that. Microsoft, I think, wanted to do a full blowout at E3, and you probably would have at least minimum either got the price or the release date, if not both. Then.
I don't disagree on any particular point, but I guess part of my frustration is just the way PlayStation have been acting. I think the thorn that sticks in my paw the most is Jim Ryan coming out and saying, "Orange is recession proof." That I don't think I've ever gotten over that quite yet. But like, it's just like they're facing unprecedented times. Guess what? So are we.
We all are.
Maybe having some time to actually plan ahead and to maybe getting one of these boxes, it'd be nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, because people are gonna have to save money, and like, money isn't easy to come by for a lot of people compared to what it was 12 months ago for those same people, and maybe if they just, but and again, this isn't like, I'm not raging, like I'm not gonna be like, epic grant, rah, fuck PlayStation. No, none of that. It's just, it's irksome, and to me it's kind of silly. Like, why wait until September to announce how much the box is gonna cost? You're gonna release in November. Like, why?
Unless they aren't. Do you think one of them are going to push to 2021?
I hope so. Like, a few months ago, and I know people are going to be like, "Ooh, well, you're a flip-flopping, inconsistent podcaster because a few months ago you said neither of them should delay it." Well, guess what? Like, my opinion has changed as time has moved on.
Eddie, you're not allowed to do that. You know that.
Well, I
have to
don't
stick with the opinion you had from the beginning, and you're not allowed to change it, even though you've got new information.
Screw the rules. PlayStation and Xbox should both just delay next gen by a year. I don't understand why it happened so quickly anyway. Like, the previous generation lasted 10 years. And I thought we were going to be in for something similar. Like, this time around. Like,
but a lot of people do believe, a lot of analysis and everything like that do believe that one only lasted longer because of the recession that happened.
Yeah, well, we're about to have another one. People are going to be less people are going to be able to afford this.
I agree with you. Like, I do believe they should probably delay.
Like, no one knows where they're going to stand in November. Like, it's not just Sony and Microsoft, and I get that they have the considerations of this being an unprecedented time to launch a console, like, to be a business, never mind launch a console, but it's an unprecedented time to be a consumer. It's an unprecedented time to just be a person in the world right now.
Yeah. You're spot on. Everything what you're saying is spot on.
I went on a bus for the first time in 5 months today. It was terrifying.
You didn't punch someone like I suggested.
I didn't. No one came close. I just kind of crazy-eyed while I was listening to heavy metal and trying not to think about where I was.
I dare you. I believe, yes, I do believe we're going to find out the release date or price soon for this because of this thing itself. But on top of that, going back to what we were just saying, I do personally believe both of them, if not one of them, should delay. The one who has the one who has the most to lose is Microsoft.
Yeah.
I think Sony can delay. They've got the biggest market share. They can delay if they want to. They can delay it, and it won't. I don't think it would hurt them that much at all. They
Okay.
came out a year after after the Xbox 360, and by the end of that generation, PlayStation technically outsold them.
Yeah.
They were on, and Microsoft were out for a year longer. They proved, like I said, they've got the market share. They have that. They have the will of at least of the general consumer
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything.
sure it is.
So
Yeah, they do. It's true. But, I don't know. I think PlayStation, by committing to generations like they have, probably has more at least than Microsoft, who were going to make all their games for the Xbox One anyway.
But that's the thing about it. If Sony could postpone, they could literally hold it to March, if not go to the end of
they'll
next
go at
year
the end
if
of
they
next
wanted
year
to.
if they did.
And if Microsoft still come out this year, which I was going to say Kevin Spacey for some weird reason. I don't want. Why would I say that? I hate that man's name. Phil Spencer has said he's not going to delay. They're not going to delay it. I think they could actually delay if they want. If they're going to, but it doesn't even.
They probably thought about it.
What I'm trying to say is that everyone's wondering what is this generation. PlayStation could literally put that in the tagline: "We are the generations." And that's what people will drive towards. The general consumer will move towards that, especially if they hear from sites and everything like that. Microsoft's Xbox Series X hasn't moved the boat that much. It's more powerful, but it hasn't moved the boat. And then PlayStation come out a few months later, or a year later, and they come out. They could do that if they wanted to.
We'll see. I'm not so sure.
For me.
I haven't really put much thought into what it would look like if one delayed and the other didn't, to be fair. Like, for me, like, PlayStation are the ones who probably don't want to delay, because if they delay, they're delaying all the games that they have planned from November to whatever. November, I guess. Maybe, like, if say it's a year's delay, they're delaying all those games for 12 months that were going to be PS5 games. Microsoft wouldn't be delaying anything, but Microsoft probably, if Microsoft were going to delay the Xbox Series X, they would have done it when they delayed Halo. This very specifically said, but the Xbox is still coming out in November.
But that also for me gives PlayStation that window to, even if they wanted to delay even more. Come out either March or could push till next year altogether, and literally come out when Microsoft released arguably their biggest IP. Because they're not going to be releasing really anything of IP status, I guess. That's fair to say. That we know of.
Ugh.
So, and they could literally drop it with Spider-Man, with Horizon if they wanted to. Or push Horizon to 2022 altogether. But they could literally do that if they wanted to. And that's a combination that I don't think Halo would win.
And Halo's not... Even if PlayStation 5 came out with nothing, Halo... And don't get me wrong, I still think Halo's a big deal. I see you fuckers out there talking shit about Halo. Like Halo's not a big deal. Y'all have all spent the last month talking about nothing but fucking Halo, but then we'll say Halo's not a big deal. Get the fuck out of here with that hot take. But Halo wouldn't win that fight even if it was just PlayStation 5 they were going up against. And it is a big deal. But, PlayStation's PlayStation. They've only had one off generation. Like, everybody likes to bring up the PS3 and the $599 and getting a second job. But PS1, PS2, and PS4 are three of the best selling consoles of all time. Like, they had one off generation.
And that quote unquote one off generation, like we just said,
because they only won that generation after the generation was over, but when everybody had stopped paying attention. So it's like it was still an off generation. They did win it eventually, but they came out of the gates by shooting themselves in the ankle.
I completely agree with everything what you said, but that's how crazy it is. Their one-off generation, they still technically outsold Xbox, which had a year longer on them.
They didn't win the generation though. The Wii won that generation.
No, let's be fair.
Quite easily.
Games and everything, we win the generation, which is fantastic.
We need to get out of this stupid fucking mindset of winning and losing. because it's fucking nonsense.
No, Amy, that's how we get a good podcast. I'm telling you this now. I'm taking over. Me. You
Look, right?
have to comfort the fanboys and
Do you want me
talk to them how they like to be talked to.
Do you want me to talk to the fanboys like they like to be talked to? Hey, fanboys, come here. Come here. Come here. Fuck you. Go away. Leave me alone with all of your fucking bullshit about Sony ponies and whatever the fuck you call Microsoft fanboys. And just fuck
Green
off and leave the rest of us. Just leave the rest of us out of it. PlayStation's good, Microsoft's good, Nintendo's good, PCs are good, mobile phones are good. Like, just
Stadia's good.
Well, let's not go crazy. Let's not go nuts.
Apple's good.
I have no horse and I don't care about Apple.
Love you, Amy.
We'll be talking about them in a bit anyway. Just fanboys can get away with this fucking winning and losing nonsense. Do you know who wins? Do you know who won this generation? Me.
Yep,
I won this generation.
PlayStation.
I got awesome PlayStation first parties. I got Game Pass.
Yeah,
I got Game Pass.
I know.
Drake Hollow came out, and I was like, it came out by surprise in one of these fucking events that happened last week, and I was like, oh shit, I was looking forward to that game. I better get review. I need the review. And then I was like, oh, hold on, it's on Game Pass. Sorry, on my Xbox, I've just downloaded it. Like,
what game is that?
It's called Drake Hollow.
I'm not to have a look at that. Game
Pass has had an amazing week. Like,
last 2 weeks, yeah, they threw out some really big bangers. Yeah, Battletoads, Flight Simulator. You've got Tell Me Why, which I've played. Then obviously the Spiritfarer.
Spiritfarer, oh my god.
Yeah, Spiritfarer.
Such a good game.
I've got that installed. I'm going to be playing that. So
anyway, Sony fanboys are probably getting. Actually, Sony fanboys have gone after I told them to fuck off.
They probably weren't here to begin with. That's supposed to be frank.
I would like to think that my branding has driven them all away, like sometime in the past few years. That would be great. But we still got some Sony stuff to talk about because Sony wants to bring more first-party games to PC. This is from Jonathan Bolton over at PC Gamer. I'm going to read a small snippet of it. I don't think I need to read the whole thing. There was a report that got released, a corporate report, and it had this line in it. We will explore expanding our first-party titles to the PC platform in order to promote further growth in our profitability. Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to work.
Yeah, that's not surprising whatsoever. If everyone thought that this was going to be a one-off thing, like with Horizon and
like
Bloodborne, I believe.
I wish. Death Stranding.
Yes, Death Stranded. Yes, sorry, my bad. This was going to happen.
If Bloodborne got ported to PC, Bloodborne 2 would have been announced by now because of how much that would have sold on PC.
And it clearly shows that they've obviously made enough from Death Stranding and Horizon to make them go.
Of course they did. Like, there's a reason Microsoft put all of their games out day and date on PC as well as Xbox. And, you know, people can say, whoa, well, that means I don't need a console. I can just use my PC. Microsoft don't give a shit. You know how much money they're making off of releasing their games on PC? Literally every publisher who has done this has made a ton of money. Mm-hmm. The Persona 4 Golden going on PC. Persona 4 Golden sold fucking mental numbers. They said it. And they were like, oh, we need to... They even said it. I can't remember if it was Sega or Atlas. Said, oh, shit, we need to actually, like, look at porting our games to PC.
Yeah, so number 5 is going to be there in 2 years' time.
Yeah, guaranteed. So of course, when Sony puts, like, you know, a game on PC and everybody buys it, like on PC, they'd be like, oh shit, we made a lot of money here. Hang on, what if we start putting more games on PC? Imagine if we put God of War on PC. How much money do you think we could make? And then there's another Sony executive going, all of it, sir. all of it.
Money. All the money. Yeah, it's not surprising.
Although speaking of
Yeah.
fanboys, it is fun to watch them twist in the wind. Because it was one of their big things, wasn't it? Like, oh, Sony would never put their first party games on PC because they want people to buy a PlayStation. Oh dear. What happened, guys? What happened? Oh, Sony realized they could make more money by double dipping. Oh, what a surprise! Who could have seen this coming?
Who could see this coming? Who could see this coming, ladies and gentlemen?
I wish I had a cup of tea to just do the meme. But all I've got is this. It makes a lot of sense to bring that game. Like, oh, the numbers they're going to do on some of the games that they've got on PlayStation that will come to PC will be sickening. The second Bloodborne touches down on PC, it's gonna explode.
Think Bloodborne will?
Hell yeah! It's a From Software game that's never been on PC. And
Because the rest of them have.
yeah, like all the Dark Souls games, like Demon Souls hasn't either. So you could probably make the same case for Demon Souls. But yeah, like Sekiro, all the Dark Souls games, like if Bloodborne touched down on PC, like that community would devour it. Because you'd have it running at like 120 frames, like, you know, on a PC, which is like, you know, it's going to be really smooth, 60 frames per second. I don't know what it runs out on PS4. The bonding community will be able to get a hold of it. Like, they'll be able to. I don't know if it runs at 60. I don't think it does. But you'd have the modding community being able to get a hold of it. Someone will make an easy mod for Bloodborne. Like the game that tons of people would love to play if it had an easy mod, quote unquote. Like, kidding me, that game would sell millions.
I'd give it a go.
Point proven. And because,
but I'll also give artistic choice at the same time.
Yeah. Let's go. Oh, we've got this big long Jason Schreier article to read. I forgot about that.
You love a Jason Schneider.
When I was like, I fucking read it. Thanks, Bloomberg.
Capitalism.
Capitalism's got to capitalize. Yeah, I know. Fucking capitalism. Blockbuster video games mint millions while grunts get exploited. Yes, that was a clever segue. This is from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg, who writes, as Christmas 2018 approached, workers at Activision Blizzard Inc. Oh, good, we're going to talk about both the terrible companies in the video game industry. Workers at Activision Blizzard Incorporated were busy doing what they always do, writing code, modeling characters, and designing landscapes for the next Call of Duty games. At the company's campus in Santa Monica, California, everyone got hand-delivered invitations to the annual holiday bash, where staff could drink, unwind, and celebrate the year. Some recipients, though, were soon told they'd received the invitations by mistake and wouldn't be welcome at the party, according to 3 people familiar with the incident. The reason? They were temporary contractors officially employed by a staffing agency, Vault Workforce Solutions. Sounds like a company from Alien. That treatment isn't unusual in the gaming industry. While executives rake in millions of dollars and some full-time employees can expect Porsche-sized bonuses when a hot new title drops, many people working alongside them get nothing but a salary that barely keeps them above the poverty line. Their employee badges typically come in a different colour, they rarely get paid vacations, their names sometimes aren't included in the credits, and when full-time co-workers get pricey swag such as statuettes of game characters, they're often left out. At one studio, a contractor says they were given cheaper, less comfortable chairs. Quote, temps will be told that there will be opportunities to prove themselves and possibly transition to full-time, says Emma Kinema, a communications worker of America, organizer seeking to unionize video game makers. In reality, the vast majority of people in temp roles in the game industry get trapped there forever with terrible conditions, no benefits, low pay, and no ladder for career progression. End quote. The video game industry employs more than 220,000 people worldwide, according to the Entertainment Software Association. These are backed up by thousands of freelancers who write scripts or draw concept art for studios when needed. Somewhere in the middle are contractors employed by agencies such as Volt, Keywords, and Yo, who work full-time hours but are frequently treated as lesser employees. The industry's prestige, What kid doesn't want to grow up wanting to make video games for a living? Me? Me? I didn't. I wanted to make movies. Makes it particularly ripe for labour exploitation. Interviews with more than a dozen contractors, none of whom wanted to be identified for fear of retribution by employers, suggest they're often essential members of game development teams. These skilled artists, designers, and producers maintain the same long hours as staffers. Sometimes their employment has a specific end date, but their contracts are frequently extended, allowing them to keep their jobs but offering no path to full-time employment. Quote, there are many roles applicable only during a certain point of a project, so contracts are well suited for those positions, says Renee Gittins, Executive Director of the non-profit International Game Developers Association. But contracting should not be used as a method to avoid employment expenses. End quote. Legally, these perma-temps occupy a murky space. In 2000, Microsoft settled a class action lawsuit brought by contractors for failing to provide them with benefits, but the case didn't result in a clear precedent. Quote, this is the Wild West, says William Gould IV, an emeritus law professor at Stanford Law School and a former chairman of the National Labor Relations Board. A pair of congressmen in July introduced a bill to boost protections for contractors, but the measure hasn't made it out of committee. Hasn't yet made it out of committee. The path from the headline owner of a title to the people who write the code and draw the characters can be convoluted. The next Call of Duty, expected this fall, will likely break sales records. The 2018 version, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, grossed more than $500 million in its first 3 days alone, according to Activision. Most of the work on the game is done by separate studios owned by Activision, including a Santa Monica company called Treyarch, which hires consultants from Vault. Several current and former Vault employees with Treyarch say their pay is below $20 an hour, forcing them to work nights and weekends to make ends meet. Their Vault contracts stipulate that they have no right to their host company's perks. Quote, I acknowledge and agree that I am not eligible to participate in or receive any benefits under the terms of the company group's retirement plans, health plans, vision plans, disability plans, life insurance plans, stock option plans, or any other employee benefit plan, policy, or procedure sponsored or maintained by any member of the company group. Reads one contract reviewed by Bloomberg Business Week. Let's skip that paragraph. Efforts to shrink the role of temps have had mixed results. In 2014, as Microsoft sought to reduce its reliance on contractors, it instituted an 18-month limit for contract workers to, quote, better protect our Microsoft IP and confidential information, end quote. The company said in a memo at the time, because it can take years to develop a video game, the latest installment of Microsoft's Halo franchise has been in the works for more than 4 years, progress has been disrupted by the departure of contractors at the end of their 18 months, according to people familiar with the development. Microsoft says it encourages external staffers to raise any concerns about their treatment and that it will take action as needed. We're good. We're good. So, Moody, welcome to the latest episode of Video Game Workers Getting Treated Like Absolute Shit. The Contractors Edition. I ran out of juice. Devastated.
I've run out of words. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, right? Like, wow. It's one of those things where it's like, I read the story because the story's important. And I think the people who are getting shat all over by companies like, in this case, Activision, Blizzard, Vault, whatever the fuck they were called, it's at the top of the story. Vault Workforce Solutions, which again sounds like a company straight out of Alien. And Microsoft.
Weyland-Yutani.
Weyland, exactly. Like, it's important to recognize that, you know, these companies that some people support, like football teams, actually do a lot of bad things. And this is one of them. Like, it's horrible. Like, you do all the same work, but you have none of the benefits because you happen to be a contractor instead of a full-time employee. You get punted after, like, what the heck? I don't even understand Microsoft's stance on the 18-month turnaround thing. No game takes 18 months to develop, so why are they punting people after 18 months who have, at the end of that period of time, 18 months of experience working on this game, and maybe they'd be quite useful to keep around because, they've got 18 months of experience working on this game, and maybe that's why Halo Infinite gets delayed by another year. One line. What? 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 Why? Why is capitalism, Moody? I guess that's the issue of having to talk about this is it's capitalism. And to do a proper thorough teardown of this kind of business practice is to also point out all of the reasons, or at least some of the reasons, why capitalism is bad. And we don't have the time or the knowledge to do that. We're not that smart.
That's true. I'll say what I said about the Ubisoft thing. Activision, you're a crappy company, and we all know you are. You run your staff into the ground. You run your contractors into the ground and pay them a crap wage with crappy sitting rates.
Not only do you run your own staff into the ground, you run other people's staff into the ground.
Yeah. You may throw out the biggest games of the year. No doubt about it, like what it says. Next Call of Duty is going to be a big seller. It's probably going to make around 500 million the first 3 days, if not first week.
Big style.
Because of its IP alone. That's how strong the IP is. It's
shameful.
It's disgusting. You need proper leadership in the roles you have as CEOs or CEO and the team he has underneath him. You need to get proper leadership. You need to get proper things in place here. You can make money and also have a good working life space for all your staff. And guess what? You probably will make more money because your staff are happy. Just a thing maybe to think about Activision and Ubisoft and every other crappy game company who runs their staff into terrible situations. And yeah, it's crap. It's disgusting. Ubisoft, you should, Activision, you need to get your shit together. And same goes kind of like a little bit to Halo, but like the Microsoft,
to Microsoft.
The Microsoft part, like why? Yeah. Then if you've got the staff that you had them, why let them go? You could have. The only thing I can think of is just because of COVID, and that's just me throwing something out there. Because of COVID, they thought, no, they may have rehired them. They might have were going to rehire them to stick to at least until the release date, and obviously because of things they thought, oh, we can get this in house and we'll just let them go and save a little bit of a cheap book. Maybe, but that's me literally spitballing there. I have no.
The 18-month
in it there.
The 18-month limit is a policy they instituted in 2014. It's in the story, so
all I have to say is Activision do better.
Microsoft do better.
Yeah, Microsoft do better as well.
Speaking of Microsoft and Halo veteran returns to the series to help finish Halo Infinite. This is from Ryan Gilliam over at Polygon, who writes, now that Halo Infinite has been delayed out of the Xbox Series X's launch lineup, developer 343 Industries is bringing in a veteran of the series to help shepherd the game to its new 2021 release. Joseph Staten, one of the developers responsible for the original Halo trilogy's characters, story, and cutscenes, is returning to the franchise as project lead on the Halo Infinite campaign, 343 announced late Wednesday. He also wrote Halo Reach. That wasn't in the story, I just thought I'd throw it out there because, Halo Reach had good writing. Bloomberg originally broke the news of Staten's return on Wednesday night, and 343's official announcement was published less than an hour later on Halo Waypoint. Actually, that's unfair. The first and third Halo games had good writing for what they were, but, Halo Reach had a story as opposed to a collection of cutscenes so that Master Chief could explode everything. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Staten will serve as project leader on the Halo Infinite campaign. Pierre Hintz of Halo the Master Chief Collection has also jumped ship to help finish Halo Infinite. He will be the project lead for the game's multiplayer component, which will be free to play. And as we all know, Halo the Master Chief Collection's multiplayer, when it launched, was perfectly fine and not broken in any way. I don't know why I'm so salty about this, because I really don't care all that much about Joe Staten and Pierre Hintz, but like there are like opportunities for sarcastic comment, and I appear to be taking them.
You are. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that. This tells me a few things. One, this game's not coming out until fall next year.
Something
This
went wrong.
Two, something severely went wrong.
Something's gone badly wrong with Halo.
Really badly wrong. And three, more than ever before, they are catering to the old school Halo people.
Hello.
Which I'm going to say now, you should not be. You shouldn't be. Because I can tell you this right now, with kids out there, they don't play this slow-ass game.
That's not
Sorry.
true.
The first three games were slow-ass games. They may have been revolutionary in the time. I'll give it that always. And I celebrate every time for you, Amy, who loves those games. They were slow-ass games. But the general gaming audience, and that's basically where you're going to get the most profit from here, don't play those slow-ass games. They play the fast pace of Call of Duty. They play the fast pace of Apex. They play the fast pace of Warzone. I guess the slowest one out there is Fortnite, but it's still fast paced and compared to what the
slowest one out there is probably Destiny.
And everything. They're playing all these games. For me, they're going backwards. I can understand they want them to bring back some of the old guard to try and right the ship, because it does seem like there's no real structure of person making sure we have a plan of where they want to go for this game. It does seem like it's a bit all over the place, which is incredibly disconcerting and very disappointing to think that this was meant to be your tempo game. This was meant to be coming with the console.
Okay.
At the end of this year, and it clearly shows they had no plan whatsoever. I can appreciate COVID has had some impact. Like, it's impacted a lot of things in the world. But it seems like there was some fundamental problems here. And you were probably hoping that what you showed in last month was going to be praised, and it wasn't. That's how I see it for me. There was some fundamental problems here, and this is a year out minimum.
I mean, it's nice to see you come around my way of thinking on when this is going to come out. And now he's not even listening. Feels bad, man. Hi. That's alright. I think you muted yourself, though.
There we go.
It'll be fascinating to see we play the rest of Halo, because we're streaming the Halo games currently on Twitch for charity. We're currently halfway through Halo 4, so it'll be interesting to see you play the rest of Halo 4 and then Halo 5, and then we'll talk about 343 Industries and how they've handled the Halo franchise. Like, I agree with you on some points. Something's gone wrong with the development of Halo Infinite. If you bring in new people to lead the development of Halo Infinite.
Old people, really. They're bringing in the old guard.
They're bringing in the old guard instead, and I don't know how old guard Pierre Hintz is, because the Master Chief Collection was 343 Industries as well. I disagree on the whole, I disagree to a point on the whole, hey, make it fast. It's like, if you make it fast, what's the point of making a Halo game? Like, if you're just going to make Halo feel like every other first-person shooter, like, the people who buy COD aren't going to not buy COD, but the people who, are excited about Halo aren't going to be as excited about Halo. Like, it's the Resident Evil thing of we'll make it more actiony and then it'll sell like Call of Duty.
Oh, I don't deny it. There could be some fundamental flaws, like that one response you just said there with Resident Evil. Yes, you are spot on. There's no doubt about that. I'm just first-person shooters for me are fast-paced games, and industry shows and the general gaming audience show that they prefer that type of style. And it's the thing that shows, it sells all the time. I'm not saying you can have something different or anything, because you can prove it in all the other first-person shooters that do something different. They can still have that fast-paced type of combat, but have something different. And I just feel like Halo, if you're going, you can't go backwards for me. Like, I've said it on multiple occasions right now, like, those first 3 Halo games, yes, I was behind the times, and I've played games
You
now
were
with
behind the
feeling
times.
completely different compared to the first 3 Halo games. But I didn't like the combat very well. Playing in 4, I've admitted, I've said it on live stream, I have preferred how 4 has played than the other Halos. I have.
Yeah. For the same reason why, I played Uncharted when the Nathan Drake collection came out, and I was like, oof. Like, ooh, this is rough. Because I played a million other third person, not Tomb Raiders.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to say it. But, no, like, they just. What 343 Industries really needs to do is, one, they need, for the story wise, they need to do whatever they did with Halo 4, because Jesus, that was like lightning in a bottle for them, I guess. Like,
I agree with you. What we've played so far, the story is far more compelling, and I'm actually interested in the 2 lead characters right now.
Like this
compared to the number 1, 2, and 3. 3, I was just like
3. I gotta pull you up a little bit on 3 because half the cutscenes didn't play. Pierre hints of the Halo Master Chief Collection, just in case you're wondering if you fixed your game. You didn't.
But I have watched those cutscenes. I watched them online.
I don't know if it's the same experience. That's like, walking out of the theater and watching a movie 3 times and then come watching the scenes that you missed later on. I don't know how that would impact whatever. It's a different conversation.
That's fair. I understand where you're coming from, though.
Like, you only get the first experience once. Like, imagine walking out of P during the portal scene in Avengers Endgame, and then watching it later. But
still gives me chills.
And yeah, but like, there is a place for the Halo 1, 2, and 3 stories. Like, they weren't supposed to be. I don't want to say good. They weren't supposed to be good stories. They weren't supposed to be deep stories. They were just supposed to be action movies, like, but in video game form. They were supposed to be action. And not stories. Whereas Halo 4 has a story, has a good story. It has characters who have characterizations and character arcs. It's great. Do that again. As far as the gameplay goes, like, take what worked throughout the entire franchise's history. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Reach, ODST. Take the bits that worked and modernize it. I'm not saying that's easy, but you know what?
Oh, yeah.
They did it for Wolfenstein, and they did it for Doom. You can do it for Halo.
Yeah, you could run in that game.
Yeah, like, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but that's why you get paid to make games.
That's true. It is. But I have to say this at the same time. It's one person, and he barely gets shared or anything like that because he is in Phil we trust, but. Phil, you clearly haven't managed this situation properly. Because no offense, you should. I'm not saying you are doing multiple things on multiple occasions, but this is your big tentpole game that was meant to be coming out with your big new console. You should know what this game is, how it is, and everything. You knew when that game was going to be shown at the event you've just done. You knew it. You knew it. I feel like that for me personally, and you clearly for me he shows that he hasn't managed the situation properly. Fair, he's done the right thing and delayed it, but it shows he hasn't managed it properly for some weird reason when he's done a lot of things pretty much right, making everything very playable for any type of gamer out there, mobile, PC, console, whatever your stuff however you want to play it. He's given you that option, but he's clearly shown he hasn't managed this situation very properly, for me personally.
Nobody's perfect.
Oh, I don't deny that. No one is perfect, apart from me, because I'm glorious.
Yeah.
The glorious stallion, apparently.
The glorious... No. Fall Guys crosses 7 million copies sold on Steam as it becomes the most downloaded PS Plus game ever. This is from Nick Stat over at The Verge, who writes, Fall Guys' total world domination continues as Sony on Wednesday morning announced the game has become the most downloaded PlayStation Plus title of all time. The goofy and playful battle royale platformer released earlier this month by UK studio Mediatonic has had about as successful of a launch as an indie game can get, blasting to the top of the Steam charts on PC and enjoying what sounds like an unprecedented number of downloads on Sony's PlayStation 4, where it's available for free. Sort of. I just heard his voice, and I was like, yeah, it's technically, I get it. The game's official Twitter account has more than 1.2 million followers, and the game has been a constant on the Twitch viewership charts. According to publisher Devolver Digital, the game has sold more than 7 million copies on PC. I'm going to read that again. The game has sold more than 7 million copies on PC. It's not even been out a month. Witcher 3 didn't sell that fast. Very few games sell that quickly that are also available on PS Plus. Hey, Booty. Do you remember when just before this game came out, when we did OpenCritic head-to-head, and I said this game's going to be big? I'm not bringing that up to make any particular point, other than to say that I said that before the game came out. Maybe I'm a video gaming messiah.
With an ego to boot.
Oh, 1000%. You better believe I got the ego to match.
I think there's only one thing to say for this thing, and that is fantastic. Congratulations to the entire team for this game. I've played it. You've played it. Many people are playing it. It's streaming like crazy. It is a bonkers fun time of a game, even if it infuriates everybody at the same time. Well done.
Fucking learn how seesaws work, people. Come on.
Well done to the entire team for that game. Well done. I'm so happy to hear it. It's like I said last week when we were talking about, I think it was like they sold really well on something, and I was saying we need that little bit of joy, and we've had that in 2 games this year in Animal Crossing. Even though that didn't click for me, but it's done very fabulous well, and it's done amazing for joy for a lot of people. And this is the game there that's on top of that as well. It's doing the same thing. A lot of people have an incredible joy, having fun with their families, and streaming it like crazy. I'm so happy for them. It's the simplest of concepts, yet it has broken the internet, and respect them for that.
Hell yeah, dude. Congratulations to Mediatonic for one of the biggest game releases of the year. I'm so happy I can say that.
I'm going to be ready to go to be hired in 2 years' time. So if you're looking for QA, hit me up in 2 years' time.
Hell yeah. I know a few people who work at Media. No, I'm not saying I'm friends with them. I mean, I know people and follow them on Twitter. Who work at Mediatonic, and they seem like really awesome people.
Hit up Amy
that
when I get my
Moody going to work at Mediatonic is Amy approved.
Amy approved.
Mediatonic is an Amy approved developer.
I'll put that on my CV.
Yeah, just show them this clip.
Amy Kate Alexander approved.
And that's a hard approval to get.
That's true.
And just a picture of me
Yay.
We're going to skip to announcements because we've got a lot to get through. We're pushing time in the last 2 stories. I don't want to talk about Apple and Epic anymore.
Things have happened. Go and check about on the internet.
Yeah, stuff's happened. It's millionaire, billionaire slap fighting. I don't care. Fuck both of them at this point. They're children throwing tantrums. We got a lot of announcements.
Big ass money dollars in those tantrums.
Yeah, it's just they're throwing like dollar bills at each other instead of soft toys. We got a lot of announcements. Gamescom happened. The Future Games Show happened. A bunch of IGN stuff happened. There was something called Awesome Indies. I've probably missed stuff that got announced, release dates, delays, whatever. Sorry. When a lot happens, it's difficult to get it all into one document and keep it all straight. if I've missed something cool, I game
But
reveals.
I'll quickly say I'll throw things at you on like articles and everything like that, and if you want to use it, you use it. Just in
Articles?
case you feel like you've missed some stuff. So if I've seen something, I'll message you on
All right.
through private message. All right.
It's just game reveals. Who cares? It's just E3 month 4.
Year 4.
Yeah. We got some game reveals. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was revealed, surprising absolutely no one. Unknown 9 Awakening was announced. Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead was announced. Sam & Max VR game was revealed. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormground was announced. This one was really confusing, actually. I remember watching this and they were like, it's a universe that's never been in a video game before. And I saw the Warhammer logo and I was like,
It's Warhammer.
is someone taking a
Yeah.
piss? There's been like a million Warhammer games. Age of Sigmar. Ooh. Teardown was revealed, Die by the Blade was revealed, Monster Harvest was revealed, and Morbid 7 Acolytes was revealed. This one had platforms PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. They've revealed Call of Duty, Moody. There's a new Call of Duty. Yay! It's the perfect political climate
Hell yeah.
for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan's in it. Yay!
Yeah, we all love Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan never did anything wrong. I can't even say that sarcastically. Oh. You know what? A thought just crossed my mind, completely unironically, of just like, man, sure I'm tired of these political video games. And obviously I mean it in a completely different way. Like, of just being like, man, sure I'm tired of these elite squads and Call of Duty Black Ops being shit. But the thought that crossed my mind and it made me laugh. Some of these games look pretty cool. I love Sam & Max. Die by the Blade, I remember that one's it's like a 1v1 like stabby sword fighting thing. Like a fighting game, but you don't have health bars, you just have to hit people. Like if you hit them in the head, you'll kill them.
Cool.
Which I like because
like normal then.
Just like a normal
if you
fight.
hit them good in the head, they could kill
If I hit you good in the head with a sword, I'm probably gonna kill you. We got a buttload of release dates, and I want to thank Laura Kate Dale over on Twitter for having threads that I could easily follow and definitely copy paste stuff out of and put in the document. So thanks for that.
Shout out to her. I watched the Tell Me Why video.
I haven't played it, so don't say
Fun,
anything. Got release dates. World of Warcraft Shadowlands is launching on October 27th on PC. Override 2 Super Mech League launching holiday 2020 on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One. The Sims 4 Journey to Batuu, which is a Star Wars expansion, launches on September 8th on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Lemnis Gate is coming early 2021 in PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This one broke my brain. It's a turn-based, multiplayer, first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Broke my brain. I had to read it like 6 times and watch the trailer a bunch, and I was like, oh, I get it. It's really cool. It's like you play a 25-second loop and you do things, and then the time loop resets, and then you play again. But the first person that you played is running around still doing all the same things you're doing. So you're playing on a team of 5, but all 5 players are you. At different points in time. And I was like, cool.
That's too much for my brain now. I'm stating that for a fact. That's too much for my brain.
It'll be one of those things where you play it and it makes sense and it clicks and it feels awesome, but you try and explain it to somebody and it's like, huh?
Question marks all over it.
Just like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Whoever can master that game, respect to you straight away.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I want the respect that I'm owed.
Yeah, you do that, Amy.
Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition launches on October 15th on PC. You do realise that next year's my next year's Fantasy Game League team name is going to be something sarcastically around Halo, right? After our experiences with this charity stream, the Sea of Thieves one, which I'm slowly being proven right on as the year goes on. Sea of Thieves was good. Still is. Spellbreak launches on September 3rd on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Lord of the Rings Gollum is coming to next generation and current generation consoles in 2021. Tenderfoot Tactics launches on October 21st on PC. Crown Trick launches Q3 2020 on Switch. Werewolf the Apocalypse Heart of the Forest launches Q4 2020. Chinatown Detective Agency launches early 2021. Medieval Fantasy launches on PC on September 17th. Mars Horizon is coming 2020 to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Cartor is coming 2020 to PC and PS4. Allegiac is coming 2020 to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Love is coming to PC this October. It's about time. Those PC nerds really deserve some love.
They do. They do indeed.
Some of them deserve a punch in the crotch, but, you know, some of them deserve love. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 launches December 8th on current and next-gen consoles. And Ring of Pain launches October 15th on PC. That's the thing the other people I was mentioning deserve. Some of them deserve the love, and some of them deserve the Ring of Pain. Thanks, video game industry, for letting me set up that joke. Shout out.
That's gonna be my nickname. That's my team name next Fantasy Game League. Ring of Pain.
Some cool looking indie games. Just go and check out some trailers. You know, just do yourselves a favor, right? And if you get like some spare time, just go look at some indie game trailers. Anything that looks particularly interesting, because you'll probably find a couple of things where you go, "Ooh, that's cool." Happens to me all the time. But then I'm actively looking for this stuff. And I feel like more people should actively look for this stuff. Like, I watched the trailer for Tenderfoot Tactics. It looks really cute. I'm really into it.
Like, especially when you hear sometimes people, "Oh, there's no games coming out," so you can go look for them.
I just said like 20.
you know what I mean.
But you know, that's my counter argument. It's like there's no games coming out.
20 games.
This game's
crazy.
Trust me.
Crazy.
So many games. There were 3 delays. Little Nightmares 2 is now coming in February 2021. Lego Star Wars The Skywars Saga has been delayed to 2021, and Evil Genius 2 has been delayed to the first half of 2021.
Fuck Little Nightmares 2.
Nah, don't be like that. Just because it's on your Fantasy Game League team and it got delayed. Look, right, we've all had games delayed at this point.
Fuck Little Nightmares 2.
Lego Star Wars.
No, if you need to push it. It's
push it. All 3 of these games look cool. I'm interested to play all 3. I'm disappointed I'm not going to get to play them this year.
I am a little curious about the Star Wars one, because that was not originally down to be on next gen. It was just meant to be PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm curious. I think they've delayed it because they're pushing it to next gen.
Or maybe. I just assume it's COVID. I think what they've done is they've just taken advantage of the fact that they're delaying it to release all the versions simultaneously, instead of what they were probably going to do, which was release, because it was coming out in October, so before the next gen console releases.
Yeah, you know what? Yours sounded a little bit more theoretically sound.
Yeah, so I think they're just going to go, fuck it, we'll just launch on everything all at once. They might as well, right?
Yeah, so it gives them time, gives them chances to get things sorted and everything like that. I think I need to hit up a person I know who works there.
Yeah, cool. Hit him up
I just want to know how she's doing as well, more than anything, because I haven't spoken to her for a while. The whole thing's all going well for her and everything.
Well, when you speak to her, tell her I don't like Lego games. Like, I've never really gotten into them, but this one really looks cool. I'm really interested to actually play it.
Wait, you haven't really liked the Lego games? They're the most simplest, relaxing, funnest games out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not kissing PC's games ass at all.
I've tried some of them. I've played the Lego franchise that shall not be named because J.K. Rowling sucks bot, and I didn't really get into that. And I played the Jurassic Park one, and I didn't really get. It's like I always play them for a few hours, and I just go, "Hey," but like this one looks really cool and fun. And maybe I'm just at that place in my life now, Moody, where I can appreciate a Lego game.
We can play to play co-op.
Even better. I love playing co-op games with you. You never complain and irritate me.
Not at all. Not at all. I am the most relaxing person to play games with.
Exactly. We got some games with gold. We got some PS Plus games. We got some free games. Into the Breach will be this week's free game on the Epic Games Store on September 3rd. September's PS Plus games are PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Street Fighter V. Wow. And games with gold for September are The Division, The Book of Unwritten Tales 2, The Blob 2, and Armed and Dangerous. The Division. Not The Division 2. The first one.
Yeah, like... I'm just going to be frank here, but Games of Gold this month sucks. And they haven't really done a good Games of Gold for a while now. I know, I'll say for, like, the PlayStation 1, I can understand people if they, like, say, oh, those games have been out for years, but these two games are arguably two of the biggest games this generation, especially on PlayStation, especially for Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5 has been one of their biggest games on this generation.
Once they finished
PlayerUnknown's Battleground, yes, it was, what, a year after it came out on Xbox, but still is one of the biggest games in the world.
Oh God, yes.
Especially for this generation. So.
You know how we've been talking about Fall Guys for the last few weeks? That was like an entire fucking year of the podcast talking about PUBG before Fortnite came out. It was just like, it was breaking this record. It was breaking that record. It was breaking all the records. It came out of nowhere, and it was this little game. Like, that wasn't a AAA game. That was just like, hey, everybody's fucking playing and talking about this. Like, yeah, that was PUBG. People forget. People forget too easily, Moody.
Yeah, the thing is, the Games of Gold one is, well, I say a simple fix, but it isn't a simple fix because it costs money. But, like you said, there's a Division 2 out.
These are games as a service games. You probably should have been offering the second one.
Yeah,
the first one.
That's probably played more.
What's the goal? I don't understand the goal.
I don't understand the goal either.
Of offering the first game over the second game.
Yeah, makes no sense. But
the last thing I want to shout out, 12 Minutes, that really cool thriller indie game. The voice cast got revealed at Gamescom as Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, and Willem Dafoe.
I thought it was interesting. We only heard Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
But this is still bongersly awesome.
Wow.
I love Daisy Ridley. I love James McAvoy. I love Willem Dafoe. And when I was hearing him speaking, I was thinking, I know him.
It's the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I was literally saying, I know this guy. Who the hell is this guy? What? And then his name came up, and I was like, there's that guy.
It's crazy voice cast. Crazy good voice cast.
The game is no doubt probably been pushed till next year. I don't think.
I think they still said 2020.
I don't think they said anything.
There was a few games that still said 2020 on them.
I think they're open for it, but I don't think they are.
I'm watching the trailer now. It's only 58 seconds long. It was one of the parts of
Gamescom.
Gamescom I watched. Because I watched part of Gamescom Live, and then I was doing something, D&D. I was doing D&D, and I had it on, but I wasn't actively watching it. It said coming soon, but it said 2020. Moody, the thing about indie games is sometimes they will just go, we're out in a week. Like, that's how they do. Tomorrow. Like, yeah, they can, yeah.
Well, I believe 12 minutes I think it's going to be a Game Pass game.
I think so, yeah. I've lost the tab. Well. There it is.
It was revealed at Xbox, so it kind of tells me it's going to be the Game Pass game. Neither here, I digress. I'm looking forward to this game. Ever since I got sort of revealed last year.
Oh yeah, it was one of my favorite Xbox games from last year.
Yeah, so yeah. Looking forward to it with the voice cast they've got. It's just like, it just makes you go, give me this game now.
Yes. 1,000 million billion%. Sorry, I got a message on Facebook. Why do people message me on Facebook when they know I'm busy? There's a content drop this week of articles you should read and videos you should watch. The first one's an article. The story behind The Last of Us Part 2's staggeringly realistic in-game character facial animation. It's from the PlayStation blog, and the title says it all. They talk about how they made the faces look so good in that game, which was amazing and sold really well. Suck it, dickheads.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool read. Like if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
That's the thing I am truly looking forward to. Sorry for buttoning in. To seeing what Naughty Dog and seeing what the proper gameplay for Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be on the PlayStation 5. What they do, because they do some of the amazing facial animations for their games, especially Naughty Dog. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have next in their games. Because obviously Horizon was just a CGI trailer. But I'm looking forward to seeing what all
CGI trailer. That'll change soon when they reveal the price, because it'll be a state of play with gameplay. Got 2 videos. The first one, I watched it last night. It's amazing. It's a no-clip video. How 6 months of COVID quarantine affected life at Supergiant Games. So they've been doing this since they've been doing this series of documentaries since Hades got revealed. And they've been like embedded with Supergiant Games. So like this is like episode 6, I think it is. So like they've managed to completely accidentally capture everything, like how it's all changed at one studio. But it's like it's really fascinating because they were already making this documentary about the game, and then March happened and everything got locked down and stuff, and it's like it's charting like the 6 months and how it's all affected like the studio and the game.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch this now.
It's really good. It's surprisingly emotional, and it's really somber. Like,
well, you gotta like people forget sometimes these are real people trying to get you their games, but shit happens that has forced them to maybe delay their stuff and go through these stuff, and they've had to adapt. Like I said at the beginning, well, not the beginning, like when we were talking on another story. There's no book here, guidebook to tell you what to do here and what to do next and everything. They're all making it up along the way. So yeah, I'm fascinated to watch this. I think I'll definitely, I don't think I'll watch it tonight. I'll be definitely watching it tomorrow.
It's really, really cool. It's about half an hour long.
Was it there a few episodes? So there'll be like what, half an hour each?
I can't remember if they're varied, but there's 6 episodes. I don't remember how long each episode lasts, but yeah, like if you've never watched the Supergiant, it's called Developing Hell, I think, the series.
Great!
Because
it's kind of perfect.
Because Hades, get it?
Hell. I know why, but with COVID, it kind of explains more now.
But also Development Hell. It's really cool. Like I love Supergiant Games. I love their games. Like I've loved every single one of their games.
Yeah.
Including Hades, which I've played in early access, and I'm really looking forward to. It sounds like it's gonna be out within weeks. Is what it sounds like. So that'll be awesome.
That's good to hear.
The last video is the latest one from Girlfriend Reviews. Fall Guys, Bonk My Head, Break My Heart by Dua Lipa parody. Have you seen it yet, Moody?
No, not yet.
It's a music video. It's amazing. Shelby can sing. Shelby can really sing, which she's done in other videos before, but this is entirely her singing.
Sweet. Gotta watch it then.
Also, last week on Words About Games, I put out 2 review impressions. Sorry if the audio sounds a bit weird. My slipper's coming off my foot. My foot's getting cold. I put out review impressions for Wasteland 3 and Spiritfarer. I liked both of those games, but you should check out the videos for a more nuanced take. I had to record the Wasteland 3 review impressions at like 1:30 in the morning on Tuesday before I went to bed because it needed to be ready by 2 p.m. For the embargo. And as has been the last month of my life, I was running behind on everything. Running behind on everything. for the last like 3 months.
Just a bit delayed, right?
Just a little bit, yeah. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Both good videos. Go and check them out, ladies and
Moody, there are some games out this week. Want to hear about them?
No, not really.
Tough. On September 1st, Ari and the Secret of the Seasons comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Take control of the seasons and use them to solve puzzles, defeat enemies, and discover the beautiful world of Valdi in this award-winning indie adventure. Also on September 1st, Crusader Kings 3 comes to PC and Game Pass. Paradox Development Studio brings you the sequel to one of the most popular strategy games ever made. Crusader Kings 3 is the heir to a long legacy of historical grand strategy experiences and arrives with a host of new ways to ensure the success of your royal house. Lastly, on September 1st, Iron Harvest comes to PC, PS4 and Xbox One. A classic real-time strategy game with an epic single-player campaign, multiplayer, and coup. Probably missed a hyphen out there. I think what you meant to say was co-op. Not coup. Set in an alternate reality of 1920 plus, which I'm guessing is like an upgraded version of 1920. Okay. On September 3rd, I'm sorry to the people who wrote that description, but sometimes you just gotta be sarcastic about grammar. On September 3rd, we got WRC 9. On PC, PS4, and Xbox One, the WRC license is back and better than ever this year with WRC 9. Take part in the calendar's 3 new rallies and challenge the community with a customizable league system. Then, dive into the skin of a co-driver with the astonishing co-op mode. Why the skin? They could have said anything. Dive into the role of a co-driver with the astonishing co-op mode. They could have said that.
So what, you're trying to be the bug from Men in Black?
It sounds murdery, the way they've written it. Dive into the skin. And then he just got that Hannibal Lecter. Like, guys, people, no. Diving into people's skin is bad. It makes it sound like you collect it. On September 4th, we've got Marvel's Avengers coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Assemble your team of Earth's mightiest heroes, embrace your powers, and live your superhero dreams. Comes out just in time for us to have finished streaming Halo. Which means we've got time to play together.
I'm not renting this game.
How dare you? How dare you? Oh, yeah, you've been saying, me and Amy will play together. Me and Amy will play together. How
shit, I did. I have to rent it now. I apologize.
How dare you? This is the part where I just don't bother. Also on September 4th, NBA 2K21 comes to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. NBA 2K21 is the latest title in the world-renowned best-selling NBA 2K series, delivering an industry-leading sports video game experience. Also, on September 4th, Paradise Killer comes to PC and Nintendo Switch. Paradise Island, a world outside reality. There's been a murder that only investigation freak Lady Love Dies can solve. Gather evidence and interrogate suspects in this open-world adventure. You can accuse anyone, but you'll have to prove your case in trial to convict. It's up to you to decide who's guilty. Lastly, on September 4th, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And then it's an advert. The description is literally an advert for the Digital Deluxe Edition, so I'm not going to do their job for them and advertise the Digital Deluxe Edition. It's a skating game. Go play it if you like skating games. I mean, I take the piss out of Iron Harvest, but at least they bothered to write an actual, description.
They did.
Let's play OpenCritic head-to-head. I'm very annoyed this week, Moody. Because this is the game we play every single week where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever gets closest gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, We tried to guess the OpenCritic average for Surgeon Simulator 2. I guessed it would get a 69 because I'm cool and mature, and Moody guessed it would get a 49. And the OpenCritic average at the time of recording for Surgeon Simulator 2 is it doesn't have one. Come on, guys. People. Sorry. I've done that twice now. Someone needs to review this game so we can play this game properly. It doesn't work if people stop reviewing games. Like, we could have done Wasteland 3, but I already played it, so I didn't think it was fair. And, like, I knew it was a good game because I was playing it. Like, So we've done Surgeon Simulator 2. No score. Metacritic doesn't even have a score. Yeah.
So what do you want to do? Transfer it over to next week?
We'll hold off on it for a week. And then if it's
by next week,
nothing by next week, hang on, let me just consult my spreadsheet a second. If there's nothing by next week, I might just do 2 games for the week after to like make up the numbers, or I might just cancel it off because we have had weeks where we haven't done this because nothing's come out. We'll see. We'll see next week.
That no game came out whatsoever.
Yeah. That puts the current scores still at Amy 15, Moody 13, with 2 draws. I've guessed closest on Dreams, Warcraft 3, One Punch Man, Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 3, Gears Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, Deep Rock Galactic, Maneater, Xenoblade Chronicles, West of Dead, Ghost of Tsushima, and Other Side. I also guessed the score correctly for Carrion. Moody guessed closest on Zombie Army 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, XCOM Chimera Squad, Command & Conquer Remastered, Iron Man VR, Deadly Premonition 2, Fall Guys, Total War Troy, and Flight Simulator, and guessed the score correctly for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The 2 draws were The Last of Us Part 2 and SpongeBob SquarePants, which are basically 2 games on as far as the opposite ends of the spectrum as I think you can get. Last of Us, SpongeBob. This week we're guessing the OpenCritic average of Marvel's Avengers. I'd be interested to hear some guesses from Moody because while I don't think he's particularly high on the game, it's also in his fantasy critic league. So I'd be interested to hear how many points he thinks he's winning and or losing come this week. But what do you think the OpenCritic average of Marvel's Avengers will be?
This game is going to sell well. This game is going to be played a lot. They've just thrown out the numbers for this game from its beta.
6 million.
It's like 6 million, which is incredible to hear. I still have no faith this game is going to be reviewed greatly. Like, everyone says it's probably going to be like average 7 out of 10. That ain't great, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but it is not great.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it'll still sell well.
Yeah. But we're not talking about sales today.
I am of 2 minds of the number I think this is going to be.
Ooh.
And I don't know which one to pick yet.
What if you pick the average of the 2 numbers? Met in the middle. What do you want to be? Do you want to be Mr. Optimism? Or do you want to be Mr. Pessimism? Do you want this container to be half full or half empty? I mean, it's completely empty. Ignore that part. Do you want me to roll you one of these dice?
No, I don't need that. No,
okay.
Thank you. One of the biggest IPs in the world, if not biggest IP in the world,
that's actually really good,
especially in front movies. I am going to say 70.
70. All right, cool. 70. Cool. Moody.
I don't think this is going to be a high-rated game whatsoever.
Have you ever heard of a D100?
No.
So it's a D&D thing. And when you want to roll a percentage check in D&D, you roll 2d10. Because they go from 0 to 9. Like the 0 is meant to be a 10. And what you do is, that becomes a number between 1 and 100. And then that's a percentage check. I have no idea where this game is going to land. I've played it. It's fun. The bit I played was fun. I have watched reveal after reveal after reveal, and for some reason, none of it is exciting me. There are some people who are talking about this game who have played a lot more of it than I have. and they're really hyped on the game. And there are other people who are just like
Yeah.
who are in the opposite.
Yeah, very mixed. It's very mixed when it comes to people. What people say it's really good, they really like it, and people say it isn't. They're saying this is just repetitive gameplay. That's a pile of shite.
So I am
Uh,
gonna put my faith in my dice, which never works out well for me in D&D. So this could go from anywhere from 1 to 100. And we'll see what happens. Are you ready?
It's gonna be fun.
Are you ready? Apparently, I believe that the OpenCritic average for Marvel's Avengers will be a 97. I wish I could roll that well in D&D, but I have a feeling that's not going to help me.
Want to read?
No, it's fine. I'll probably end up getting a 3 or something. Like,
Yeah, it'll be the opposite.
it'll just be completely opposite. Just so everybody's aware, I'm never going to do this gimmick again. When I said, do you want me to roll a dice to Moody, having not thought of my own idea for a score, I just thought, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
When I lose OpenCritic head-to-head by 1 point at the end of the year, I will fucking flip my shit that I did that. Unless this game somehow becomes unprecedentedly amazing. Like...
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, I will be angry.
I have no faith in this game whatsoever. Like, I'm seriously wishing I could delete it from fantasy game. I honestly do. When we were talking about it, when I picked it, like I said it, I even said it then. This is gonna go either way for me. This game I think is gonna be my make or break game. If I'm still in the fight between for number one, between I am with you and me.
And it's just
but
you
this
and me.
game literally I think couldn't break it. It's either gonna make it or it's gonna break. I'm either gonna get a good, say, 8 to 10 points, or I'm gonna get minus on it, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, for God's sake.
The Words About Games Battle Royale League 2020 Fantasy Critic League has basically become Formula 1 in that me and you are massively ahead and just fighting with each other at this point.
Yeah.
And
then Matt Hamilton and Verstappen.
Yeah. And then Keith and Ross are fighting their own fight for third place. And at this point, unless something ridiculous happens, there's no way they're going to get anywhere near the two of us.
Yeah, they're the Ferraris right now, just right at the back doing their own thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
They're Ferraris.
Hey, you know what? You know what I'm going to say to them when they start complaining that we're so far ahead in this thing? Because we're doing a video after the Avengers and Tony Hawk's reviews drop sometime. Yeah, because there was before I got Spelunky 2 and Keith got Kingdoms of Amalur: Erekik, there was a sizable gap between game releases. So we'll do it after those two games. What I'm going to say to them if they start complaining is, you come at the Queen, you best not miss. You might be playing for fun. I'm playing to win.
That's true.
Unless I lose, in which case I'm playing for fun. No, I'm clearly playing to win. And anyone who picked Breath of the Wild 2 at the beginning of the year was clearly playing to win. It's fun. It's all good fun. My counter pick gave me -2 points because it was Battletoads. I'll take that any day of the week. I do love the fact that I was in the last episode, we're just doing the post-show discussion now. We've got a few minutes. In the last episode we recorded where I was cool, I'm in the lead, haha, but I don't have any games coming out between now and next time, so it's I'm going to lose the lead because Moody does have games. And then Spiritfarer came out.
So wrong. The thing is, a lot of us have still got games still to come out. I'm looking at mine. I've got Dying Light 2. That's not coming out this year. I honestly don't believe it's coming out at all. I've just had Halo Infinite delayed. Obviously, that's no longer on my list.
Yeah.
Little Midnight 2.
Little Nightmares.
Got delayed. I've got Bravely Default 2. Because of how it is with Nintendo, I really think that's going to have been delayed till next year now. So I haven't really got many games. I've got,
Got Assassin's
well, I think,
Creed. I'd say is
which we know is
definitely coming
coming.
out. Avengers, which
Got
I'd say is
Avengers.
definitely coming out. Boyfriend Dungeon, which is probably coming out. And Crash Bandicoot 4, which is definitely coming
We
out.
know it's coming out, yeah. But
And then on my side of the fence, I've got Cyberpunk, which
we believe is coming out, but they've
no
delayed
comment.
it a few times this year.
No comment. Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, if that comes out, fuck
Well,
right.
master stroke from Nintendo
Yeah.
from keeping it quiet.
Hollow Knight, Silk Song, which it's in that zone of it's like
It could
flipping a
or it
coin.
won't.
It will or it
Yeah.
won't. It's like it's gonna come out within like a week. They're gonna just come out and be like, and it's gonna be available on Friday, or it'll be on a Nintendo Direct, and they'll be like, and it's available for download now, or it's not. And I don't. I'm swinging backwards and forwards on whether it will or it won't. But I also have Yakuza, Like a Dragon, which is coming out on November 13th. Spider-Man, which probably should be coming out. Bugsnax, which is probably 50-50. And Spelunky 2, which is out in like 2-3 weeks. I picked that and Troy Total War purely because they had release dates.
Yeah.
I was like, does it have a release date? Yes, cool, then I'm picking it.
Yeah. I think next year, I think we need to come up with more rules and everything like that to give us like chances to maybe try and change things up a little bit for ourselves.
Nah, see, because
put at risk for ourselves at the same time.
Yeah,
if you know
see,
what I
that's
mean.
why I didn't have any drops originally. Because I was like, if you take a risk, and I was thinking for myself because I knew I was going to pick Breath of the Wild 2, which was a massive gamble. And it's not really a massive gamble if I can drop it if it doesn't come out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what my thinking was with that. The only reason we deleted 2 of our games is because those idiots made absolute fucking schoolboy errors. and I was like, sure, I'll delete the games for you. Keith bought a game in.
One for all of us, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
I don't know why I had 2 of that one.
I mean, because there's 2 of them. I deleted one for Russ because he kind of got flummoxed because they were like, the game's coming out in March, and then when it came out, it was in early access, and it was like, that's a bit shitty. But Keith bought a game that was in early access. Like, it's like, this game's coming out in early access, and then he went, okay, I'll put it in my Fantasy Game League, and then obviously it didn't get any reviews and isn't coming out in 2020. It's like, what I hope for in the next Fantasy Game League, Moody, and I might even say this in the update video that we record, is that I hope that the level of competition between the 2 of us remains consistent, because it's a lot of fun. Like, we have been battling the entire year. Because even when I was massively ahead, because like a lot of my games came out early. Like, I was sort of like, I had a lot of early games and then a lot of late games and not really much in between. So I like shot off to a lead. But even then, I could look at your list and be like, and everyone's going, Amy's so far ahead. And I'm going, yeah, but Moody's list. Amy's like 60 points ahead. Like, yeah, but Moody's list.
Moody's got some games going, guys. Relax.
Moody's got The Last of Us Part 2 and Animal Crossing. But what I would like to hope is that now that they've seen the level of competition we're at, do a little bit of research, because they can complain all they want, Moody, but we had access to the same amount of games. They can complain all they want. I picked last.
I was going to ask you, how are you going to do this for next year? Are you going to go like from winner to bottom?
It'll because this was the order was based on the predictions, because we didn't do this the year before, so it was based on the predictions. I didn't win, but because the other 2 people weren't in this game, like, so it'll be based on like whoever finishes first will pick last. No, we'll pick last. Yeah.
Well, that's unfair.
No,
I feel like I can't afford. I feel like I should. I want those 2 to win now.
But then you'll lose.
But I'll get the pick first next time.
You will.
It's backwards. I know.
You remember?
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I look at it least once a week I'm
Oh,
always having
I'm
a
always
look at
looking
it.
at it. I was worried
And
people
it's
were gonna
always
like
looking.
not pay attention to it without me constantly prodding, but they actually do, and it's great. But you remember there's a trophy for the winner, right?
What's the trophy?
It's I don't know. I haven't bought it yet
No,
because I'm gonna get someone's name engraved on it.
I was gonna say yeah, Game Pass will do me.
No, it's a trophy. Come on, trophies cost like a tenner. It's on about a year of Game Pass. Like that's like 60 quid. I don't
Actually,
have that kind of money.
It's about 120 actually.
That's even worse. I can't afford that.
Well, if I'm gonna get a Game Pass, I would want the ultimate one.
God damn it. Anyway, I'm winning maybe second, but it's close. It's so close.
Who has the game coming out first? It's me, innit? Next.
You and so you've got Avengers, and Russ has got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
And when's your next one? What, a couple of weeks.
Spelunky 2.
No.
And then after that it's Yakuza. But if Hollow Knight is coming out, it'll come out probably before November 13th. I would have thought.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. The one I'm watching out for is that's going to decide this entire. I think is going to decide this entire competition at this point. Isn't a game in either of our lists because it's Watch Dogs. It's your counter pick. That's the one I'm looking at. Going, this could decide the entire thing.
Yeah, I think that is as well. Yeah, I need that to be under 670.
You just needed a break. You need it to be Battletoads. You need to only take like a -2. Like, or something like that.
Which
like,
I think could happen because I think that game could come out broken, and I think I think also a lot of people might go, "You're a shitty company."
Truth. Cool. We're gonna get out of here because that was we're slightly over time. So play us out, Moody, but very quickly.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the What's About Games podcast. Join us anytime, every Monday, 9 o'clock. UK time, GMT. I'm the glorious one, David Moody. Sometimes the glorious stallion, apparently. And this is the amazing, glorious Amy Kate Alexander. Bye!
We're just doing jazz hands at this point.
Yeah!
Da, da, da.